is not true. I'm sure the leader of majority will not be able to substantiate the fact that there are two centers of command for the police, because it is very clear what the chain of command for the police in Kenya is. Secondly, the leader is claiming that there is a militia. In I get an opportunity to speak, I will talk about the anatomy of a demonstration. When the demonstration...
Do not debate.
The leader must substantiate where that militia is, under whose command the militia is, and why they think that they can benefit from a mischief that they manufacture themselves and come to this house to cry crocodile tears.
Do not debate, Honorable KJ. That is a point of debate.
No, Madam Speaker, I said from the outset that I will try to be very, very cautious and temperate in my address. Madam Speaker, it is not for me to investigate militia. That can't be my work. Not long ago, I heard a member say here that those who have been killed were not killed by police. Then it means they were killed by non-police persons who could only be part of a militia. Yeah, so whoever is responsible can investigate for us and tell us who are these militia. Madam Speaker, let me say this, that if you want to make this country retain its status in the community of nations, we must be very careful about what is happening currently. And the National Police Service has over the years been known to be a service of repute. It cannot be allowed to descend to the level it is currently descending. Madam Speaker, you cannot accuse hapless and armed citizens who are going about exercising their right under Article 37 of the Constitution, and who, having been provoked by water cannons, by tear gas, by police truncheons, by bullets, defend themselves. Because the right to defense is also acknowledged, not only nationally, but also internationally. Madam Speaker, today we are talking about people throwing stones in defense of their rights to demonstrate. One day, they may graduate from stones to something else. That is when you will realize that peace is a very precious commodity, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member for Gatanga is daring me to try. I think he doesn't know me. But let me tell you, Madam Speaker, this country has witnessed what has never been witnessed in the past 4 regimes. I have been lucky to live through those 4 regimes. Madam Speaker, the kind of brutality that has been meted out on innocent and armed citizens in the last couple of months is unprecedented. Those of us who lived under Jomo Kenyatta and lived under Daniel Moi, lived under Mwai Kibaki, lived under Uhuru Kenyatta are amazed at the kind of brutality that is being encouraged by officialdom. Madam Speaker, I said yesterday, and I want to repeat it today here, that you may gloat, you may be happy that this injustice is being meted against your so-called opponents. But tomorrow the same injustice will be meted against you. And I can tell you again that however long it takes, the authors of these atrocities, the givers of command, the commanders of these atrocities, the planners of these atrocities will have to be held to account, Madam Speaker. It might take 10 years, it might take 20 years or 30 years or even 100 years, Madam Speaker. We are aware, we know of people who have been tried and convicted posthumously, Madam Speaker. And that will happen one day. So for us, therefore, to move forward as a country, the issues the people are demonstrating against are not about Raila Odinga. They cannot be issues about Raila Odinga. Kenyans are simply tired Kenyans are simply feeling overburdened. Kenyans are simply feeling pushed to the wall by unjust taxes, by punitive taxes that have been imposed by this regime. So Kenyans are in their right to demonstrate against those unjustified taxation measures. And that is what Kenyans are doing. They will do it today, they will do it tomorrow, they will do it tomorrow but one, and they will do it up next year, whether Raila Odinga is involved or not. And therefore, this unnecessary obsession with one Raila Odinga must stop forthwith. Don't be overly obsessed with Raila Odinga. Deal with the problems that we have in the country. Once you are in power, regardless of how you came to power, it is your duty to solve Kenyan problems, not to scapegoat. Stop scapegoating. Deal with the problems of Kenyans. Stop scapegoating. Stop blaming Raila. Stop blaming Uhuru. And those who are talking about retirement.
Honorable RUTO, Honorable Sergon, Honorable Mureu. Order.
No, leave them for me. I'll deal with them. I can handle them. Madam Speaker, the solution to the current problem is not scapegoating. Face the problems squarely. If I were in power, I would deal with those problems. I would. Okay? But once your policies have failed or seem to be failing, stop venting your anger on helpless and armed Kenyan youth. Those youth you are killing require jobs, not bullets. Those youth that you are killing using the police and the militia require jobs that you promised them. Stop killing them. That is the message Kenyans are sending to you, Kenya Kwanza, Madam Speaker. And that message will be sent to you whether Raila Odinga is involved or not, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me end by saying this. Let me end by saying this. You cannot solve a governance problem by using strong arm tactics, by deploying the police to hunt leaders. No amount of arrests, no amount of incarceration, no amount of intimidation can silence Kenyans, I can tell you. And you have got no enough space in the prisons to jail everybody. You can't. And you have got no enough bullets to kill all Kenyans. I can tell you. You will kill some today, and those who remain will continue to remind you of your failures. So you better go back, relax, and start governing for the time you are in power, before we remove you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yeah.
Order, members. The next chance will go to the member for Thika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whatever we are discussing today is very important, and we need to address this matter once and for all. Madam Speaker, policemen and policewomen, they are human beings. They also have families at home. It's only that is their job, to be a police person. So when they come outside to protect businesses of people, or even to protect us, if you get a sling and a stone, and you can see that is a policeman in front of you, and then you hit him, don't you know you're also hitting a father or somebody's husband or somebody's child? And you know, when we are discussing about who was killed, as we are discussing how many people are killed, even a policeman is a person, and he doesn't deserve also to be killed. So when we come here to discuss this matter, and there's no way in this nation whoever condone militias to be coming out and taking advantage of demonstration so that they can be able to hurt others. What we saw on television, Madam Speaker, you don't wish anybody. What we saw policemen bleeding, being carried, being taken to the hospital, and it was not fair. If people want to demonstrate according to Article 37, Do it in an orderly manner. Don't come out as thugs, criminals, snatching people's handbags, hurting them. It is not fair, Madam Speaker. You know, Madam Speaker, people are supposed to be demonstrating on the road. They are there going to school, hurting school-going children during demonstration. And they say that one is demonstration. Madam Speaker, people even pick a date to demonstrate. They don't care whether in 2 months' time, Form 4s will be sitting for their exams, Class 8 will be sitting for their exam, Grade 6 will be sitting for their exam. They are just there demonstrating. They don't care about anybody else apart from themselves, whatever they want to benefit. But what we are telling them from our side, because we want this seat clean and fair, they sit, relax, enjoy, and they see us, Kenya Kwanza, leading this nation to greater heights. Not coming to the streets of everywhere, damaging roads. Madam Speaker, can you imagine? This road, Madam Speaker, it is the one I use. It is the one they use. When you are sick, the ambulances uses that road. When they are going to the airport, they use that road. And they are here, Madam Speaker, saying it is demonstration. Which demonstration? Destruction, mass destruction. And I haven't seen anybody saying that that was wrong. They are very, very happy. Yeah, come out, they have succeeded. It's only that this time, the policemen and women said enough is enough. No more looting, no more destruction, and that is why people are crying. Policemen did only what they were supposed to be doing. Protect the lives of people and protect the businesses of people. There's nothing else they did. There's nothing wrong that they did. And Madam Speaker, you know, when it came to the maandamano, the ring readers, they just came on the television, they said, we have 3 days of demonstration. I looked for the readers who had called for the maandamano. I did not find them anywhere. They came up with a flu, others admitted themselves in police, in the hospitals, others took a trip to far away so that they cannot be held accountable. And they left men now demonstrating on the street. They left militias. Madam Speaker, people who come from my region, they don't want to hear the word militia. We know what it does to people. We know when the militias were there, what it did to our people. These are people who come, when you are on your way home, they attack you, they finish you. And that is exactly, Madam Speaker, what was happening in this town. Killings, people coming out, stealing life. They enter a supermarket. They rob that supermarket. They rob people on the way. And there's nobody who is talking about it. Those people in this town, you can imagine, Madam Speaker, we have just come up from a season of COVID-19. When businesses are starting to peak, then here you close your businesses for 3 days. And if you don't, we saw buses being torched. We saw matatus being torched. It is not fair, and there's nobody who is condemning that. And the readers are here saying, oh, we are suffering from flu, others they were aware. If you say you are calling for demonstration, come out and lead from front. Anyway, Madam Speaker, let me stop it there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Junet, not ready? Before Honorable Junet, then I'll give to Honorable Korere.
Shukrani, Mheshimiwa Spika, na napenda pia kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Rosa na pia kumpa pole zangu kama mbunge wa Laikipia Kaskazini kwake yeye na wale kina mama wote na wazazi ambao wamepoteza watoto. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, napenda tu kuongea kama mama. Na niseme kwamba Waswahili wanasema mkuki ni mtamu kwa nguruwe, lakini kwa binadamu ni uchungu. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba ndugu zetu wote katika bunge hii, kwa sababu nafikiri lengo na Mheshimiwa Rosa kuwakilisha mswada huu ni ili tujadiliane na kupata njia kabambe ya kuweza kutatua shida iliyo mbele yetu. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ukweli tuseme ukweli. Unajua uhuni haikubaliki iwapo inatoka kwenye polisi ama iwapo inatoka kwenye raia. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, Unajua mara mingi tunakashifu polisi na tunasahau kwamba hawa polisi hawajatolewa nje ya nchi hii, ni sisi tumewazaa. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna shida kubwa sana Kenya tunapozungumza sasa hivi ya watu wengi wamekuwa na kusongwa na mawazo. Kumekuwa na matatizo ya akili. Na polisi hawajasaswa. Pia hao wamekuwa na hiyo shida. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ningeomba wakati tunaongelelea maneno kama tunayoongelea hapa saa hii, ni vyema tuelewe kwamba kuna wazazi wanalia wamepoteza watoto. Kwa hivyo tusije tukaweka msumari moto kwenye kinonda. Lakini pia ndugu zetu kutoka upande wa upinzani, ningependa kuwaomba kwa heshima, iwapo hawa vijana watakuwa wanakufa kila wiki, jambeni na nyinyi teremsheni kiburi chenu na muweze kusimamisha ya maandamano. Na iwapo hiyo haiwezekani, hakikisheni mara nyingine tukijadiliana hapa wabunge 3 wamepigwa risasi, ile pia tuweze kujua vile nyinyi mtasikia. Lakini unajua Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilisema mimi nitasema, manake mimi nakuanga Jubilee na sitaki kujua nani atakasirika ama atafurahi vile nitaongea. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nilitazama kwenye runinga na nikajiuliza swali. Mimi nimeshawahi panga maandamano katika eneo bunge langu la Laikipia Kaskazini, nikilalamikia maneno 1-2 ambayo ni tatizo la watu wangu na ni tatizo langu. Na kila wakati Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi nimewasha biashara ya bunge hii na mimi mwenyewe nimeongoza hayo maandamano. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, siku moja nilipewa kichapo cha umbwa na polisi. Kwa hivyo pia inastahili sisi kama wabunge, kamati ya usalama na wabunge wengine tuchunguze, tujue haswa polisi walifanya makosa gani na waandamanaji walifanya makosa gani, ili tusije tu tukaanza kuzungumza kufurahisha nafsi zetu na kusahau kwamba iwapo Kenya itachomeka, hamna nchi nyingine mtaita nchi. Kenya ikishomeka, Kenya kwanza imechomeka, azimio imechomeka. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa tu kuwarai ndugu zetu, tuliweza kuweka mfano mzuri na wa kuigwa katika kanda ya Afrika na dunia nzima wakati tulipiga kura, na iwapo kiongozi wa azimio hakukubaliana na matamshi ya majaji lakini aliheshimu. Unajua kuna kukubaliana na kuheshimu. Hakukubaliana lakini aliheshimu, na tukaweza kuweka mfano wa kuigwa katika dunia hii. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu, tusije tena, wanasema mgema akisifiwa tembo ulitia maji. Tusije tena tukawa tumeheshimika, punde si punde tumeanza kuharibu ile heshima. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu, mimi nataka kuwaomba, mnapojadili haya, mjadili mkijua wale wamekufa ni watoto wa binadamu, na pia polisi wamekufa. Na kama polisi walikufa, waliuawa na nani? Manake sidhani kuna polisi waliua wenzao. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kusema hivi, kuna makosa yametokea.
Asante Mheshimiwa Korere. Muda wako umeisha. Mheshimiwa Junet.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Madam Speaker, first I want to bring to the attention of the House. Madam Speaker, we are discussing the National Police Service of the Republic of Kenya. And Madam Speaker, this police service is funded by the taxpayers' money, Madam Speaker. And their allowances and their salaries are paid by Kenyans who are taxpayers, Madam Speaker. And Kenyans are both in that side of the House and this side of the House, Mr. Speaker. We all represent Kenyans, Madam Speaker. The people we represent in this country are also Kenyans. We are not representing here Tanzanians or Ugandans, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, let us not use the floor of this House to create a picture of a partisan police force, Madam Speaker, police service. We must be careful of that, Mr. Speaker. I expected, when the mover moved the motion, The next thing we should have done in this House, Madam Speaker, is to observe a minute of silence for those people who were killed and who died, Madam Speaker, and who are mortuaries, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, stand up now and serve a purpose of minute for people who are in mortuaries in our constituencies, Madam Speaker. We are just putting on suits here, but we are not happy, Madam Speaker. We are stand up and observe a minute of silence, Madam Speaker. Let's observe a minute of silence.
Order members, take your seats.
Thank you very much.
Take your seats.
Madam Speaker.
Order members, Honorable Junet, we will do the minute of silence after your contribution.
Okay, thank you. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my time is running. Madam Speaker, the most shocking thing in our country, Madam Speaker, is the way things change. The more things change, the more they remain the same. Madam Speaker, people have been complaining about police force since independence. And a new constitution was brought into this country, Madam Speaker. We changed the police force from the former police commissioner to IG to police service. And the constitution is very clear, Madam Speaker. It's saying national security is subject to authority of this constitution and parliament. Madam Speaker, it is us who are supposed to hold the police force accountable. And that's what we are doing this afternoon, Madam Speaker. This is where they are supposed to be held accountable for their actions and commissions and omissions, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, if we are the ones here who want to defend them as though they are our gardeners or our staff at home, then, Madam Speaker, we are lost. Where else will they be held accountable if it's not on the floor of this House, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, if we don't question on the floor of this House the death of 30 or 40 Kenyans, where else are we going to ask it? In the streets? Madam Speaker, we must take our responsibility as a House very serious. And this is where issues of concern to the nation is discussed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to say this categorically. Personally, where I represent my constituency, we have lost people. And I don't think we have lost these people in the right way. They have died death which was not theirs, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was listening to Honorable Bokose. He said some of the people who were shot from the back. I want to tell you that those people were shot because they were running away from the police. So when you're running away, it is your back that faces the police. It's not your face. When you face them and then they put a tear gas on your face, you run away. When you run away, they shoot you on the back. That is how they died, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me proceed. Madam Speaker, let me ask you something.
What is out of order, Honorable Bokose?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Junet has, I don't know whether you are being distracted when he was making this allegation.
Which allegation?
That I said the police, the people who were shot from the back. It was Honorable Buyu in her statement that said they were shot from the back. What I said is that if they were shot on the back, it means, and we saw clearly that the demonstrators were throwing stones, meaning the people who shot them were the ones behind them, not the ones who are in front.
Madam Speaker, let me proceed. Madam Speaker, my time is gone.
Honorable Junet, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, in all these demonstrations, I'm giving you, in all these demonstrations, Madam Speaker, in all the demonstrations that happen in the country, I have not seen any recorded death of stones. There is nobody who has been killed because of throwing stones. People have been killed because of bullets. Who owns bullets? Is it the public or the police? Madam Speaker, I want to be informed by Honorable Millie. She has something to inform me. Madam Speaker, with your indulgence.
Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Madam.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform Honorable Junet Mohammed that there are actually videos going around that it is very clear that the gunshots were coming directly from the police, those in uniform and those without, and they were police who we can actually see their faces clearly.
Point of order. What is your point of order, member for? Honorable Millie Odhiambo, I don't want us to use points of orders and information to debate. To debate. Honorable Member for Madeira, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on Order 91, which requires a member to substantiate, I believe Honorable Junet is out of order when he says that those who were shot by police officers.
Order, members.
Madam Speaker,
order, members.
It has
order, Honorable Amombi. In fact, what you're debating, Honorable Junet was right to actually quote Honorable Pukose, and Honorable Pukose has put his information proper. Because Honorable Rosa had made some allegations, same as Honorable Pukose, and it has been cleared. So let Honorable Junet finish. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, a lot of my time has been... Madam Speaker, let us agree on one thing as a nation. If we don't want Article 37 of the Constitution, let us do a constitutional amendment and we repeal it, so that we don't need it. But so long as that article in the Constitution, Madam Speaker, that article, people must be allowed to exercise their freedoms and their rights under the Article 37. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, when you go to Article 239, it is very clear, national security organs, in performing the functions and exercising the powers of the national security agents, and every member of the national security organs shall not, one, act in a partisan manner, Madam Speaker. We cannot have a partisan police service, Madam Speaker. That cannot happen in this country, over our watch as members of this House. Secondly, Madam Speaker, further any interest of any political party. If Kenya Kwanza wants to advance their agenda, let them have, like KANU, let them have Kenya Kwanza goons and youth wingers. Let them do that and use that to... You cannot use the police to propagate your agenda, Madam Speaker. That cannot happen. The police is there to protect and defend the rights of every Kenyan. And once that is lost, Madam Speaker, that is the beginning of anarchy in this country. That is the beginning of anarchy, Madam Speaker. Let us not lose that.
Honorable Junet, your time is up. This next chance will go to the Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maybe, Honorable Speaker, I just begin by telling the Honorable Junet that the Kenya Kwanza government has no desire, has no plans to enlist the services of goons. Yes. Those who enlist the services of goons and anarchy are well known in this country. And I want to join you to say that the police should and must act fairly, objectively, and in line with the law. And with that, I thank the Honorable Rosa Buyu for having brought us this motion. Not necessarily to discuss the police, but to have an opportunity to have a conversation and a debate on violence and the use of violence as currency for political engagement in this country. Honorable Speaker, we've all been very keen to quote Article 37 of the Constitution on the right to picket and demonstrate. But conveniently, our brothers conveniently leave out a very critical part of that provision in the Constitution, that you have the right to demonstrate and picket peaceably and unarmed. Honorable Speaker, what we have witnessed in this country in the last 7 or so months these are not demonstrations. No picketing. What we have witnessed is sheer anarchy. It is riots. It is anarchy. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the member for Baringo, she will have an opportunity. She can stop contributing. I have a very good brain to be able to make my own contribution. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, it is sheer anarchy. We have witnessed a campaign of people being mobilized into riots, lawlessness, thuggery, robbery at times. We have seen people being robbed in the streets. We have seen shops being looted. We have seen highways, very expensive highways, being destroyed. Newly built roads like ABC running at Kangemi. Honorable Speaker, I saw the other day tires being lit. There is now a pothole in the middle of that highway. Tomorrow, there will be an accident there, and we will all be crying, oh, why is the ministry not doing this? What about the person who lit a tire to destroy that public infrastructure? I remember last term when President Uhuru Kenyatta said, as he commissioned the Nairobi-Naivasha Railway, that any person who destroyed public infrastructure, he will not hesitate. In fact, if I quote, he said, haki ya Mungu, nitaweka sahihi anyongwe. I'm not saying anybody, President RUTO should sign for those who destroy the expressway to be hanged or to be executed, but I'm saying we must be responsible as leaders. We are using heavy words today here, and that's why I took great exception to the use of the term genocide by the Honorable Samuel Atandi. We have used words like communities are being targeted, the Luo nation is under siege, it is being targeted. Honorable Speaker, it is true. There have been these violent riots, and I must hesitate from using the word demonstrations because there have not been a single incident of a demonstration or picketing until yesterday. And I must commend a group I saw in Kisii County yesterday, holding vigil, and they peaceably and unarmed, hopefully it's Irene Mayaka who was leading them, and I want to encourage you, Irene, go back and lead them again, to peaceably have a procession peacefully. And they made their point without a single person getting injured, without a single person getting shot, without a single stone having been hurled at any policeman. That is the kind of country we should be building. Honorable Speaker, I dare ask, Honorable Speaker, how much violence is enough?
Honorable Ishungwa, Leader of Majority, do you want to be informed by Honorable Catherine Omai?
She has no capacity, Honorable Speaker. She has no capacity to inform me on anything, on any subject. Honorable Speaker, I was asking, how much violence is enough? How much bloodshed, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, I believe you will protect me from this unnecessary noise. Honorable Speaker, I was asking, how much violence is enough? How much bloodshed is enough? And I say this because I see a number of you from leaders from Luo Nyanza. And I want to look at you straight in the eye and ask you how much blood, how many liters of blood is enough? How many body count, how much body count do you want us to count for us to say enough is enough? Honorable Speaker, the mover of this motion Honorable Speaker, I am posing...
Honorable Otiende, what is out of order?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I think the Leader of Majority was progressing quite well, even though the motion is about police conduct, but he's made it political, but that is discretion. But is it in order for the Leader of Majority to now single a single community and talk of blood as if he's imputing that the Luo community have spilled blood, when it is actually the Luo community who are bearing the brunt of all violence in this country in every year? Could he please withdraw that statement?
Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from Rosa Buyu, Honorable Speaker, or can you, Honorable Speaker, can you allow Honorable Rosa Buyu,
Honorable members,
to say what she's saying on record so that she's not shouting?
We shall not address members across the aisle. If you need to catch the speaker's eye, you know what to do. Honorable Rosa Buyu, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, do not shout across the floor.
Honorable Speaker.
You are out of order.
Honorable Speaker, you know I have tremendous respect for Senior Counsel Otiende Amolo because he listens and responds as we should do in a debating chamber, not shouting. And I must clarify to Honorable Otiende Amolo, I was speaking to the leadership from Luo Nyanza. And I was asking, we must come to a time now when we say enough is enough. That we cannot continue mobilizing people for riots. in the name of Article 37 of the Constitution, then we cry foul. Honorable Speaker,
Honorable,
last week,
order, majority.
will I have time?
Honorable,
I hope you will add my time.
Honorable Ward Chief, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, in this House, I hardly interrupt people. But some positions need to be respected. Know what you are saying, how you are saying it, and to who. This thing is not about Luos. Is it in order to say what is saying and profiling Luo here, and on the same vein, you are sending Atandia out? Must he not also be subjected to the same standard? Shame.
Honorable Speaker, some of these things are not necessary to respond to, because if someone keenly listens to what I'm speaking to, they will get my point.
Other members, I really will actually engage and indulge us to actually just observe decorum, because I have had an Honorable Tiende Amolo, you can confirm that this came from this side of my left initially. But I would request honorable members that we observe our standing orders, don't cast aspersion to leaders, and do not get out of topic. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for bringing order back to the House, because I was saying anyone who is keenly listening to what I'm saying, I was responding to the calls or the use of the terms like genocide, like targeting of communities.
We already ruled on that, Majority Leader.
And that is what, Honorable Speaker, I was responding to.
Yeah.
So those who are getting what I'm not saying, and Honorable Speaker, I was saying, as leaders, whether from Kiambu, whether from Luo Nyanza, we must now begin taking responsibility. I like what Honorable Sarah Korere said, that you can indeed lead your people in a demonstration, peaceably and unarmed. Honorable Speaker, last week, in Kangemi, there were people firing gunshots at the police. Honorable Speaker, in Mlolongo, in Kitengela, there was use of firearms by people who are not policemen. Honorable Speaker, we have used heavy terms like militia. And I remember when KJ, Honorable Speaker, can you protect me? Because there are only 3 members, Honorable Speaker, you have capacity to protect me.
Other members, we have done very well until this point. So let us not shout across the floor. If you want to put an intervention, you know what to do, honorable members.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I have been here long enough to know these tactics.
What is out of order?
Information. What about it? He's also making allegations against the public without substantiation. There is substantiation
Other members, you know I have listened to all of you. These allegations have come from both sides of the House. I have had people who say they were shot from the back, others from the front, others the police were shot. So if we are going to make progress, honorable members, let us be keen on what we present. Honorable Ishungwa,
Honorable Speaker, you know I never stand here to say careless things. There was a report, Honorable Speaker, that was released the day before yesterday by the Ministry of Interior that is in public record that 158 police vehicles have been destroyed, 305 officers injured, 1 policeman killed. Honorable Speaker, when I said there was fire towards the police in Kangemi, indeed, I happened to be in the vicinity that day. attending a funeral, Honorable Speaker, in a church. And the Honorable KJ, because I was with the Honorable KJ, he can tell you, as we waited, policemen had to take cover because there were gunshots coming from the crowd. Honorable Speaker, when the Honorable Pio and I was challenged on the use of the word militia, I want to state that it is indeed true. There has been a militia that has been used in these riots that have purported to be demonstrations. Honorable Speaker, you saw even our mainstream media houses cover incidences in Kitengela, where members of the public were alluding to the fact that all the people who were purportedly demonstrating in Kitengela were outsiders who were ferried into Kitengela using public service vehicles.
Order, members.
And you must add me time, Honorable Speaker.
Order, members. I know so many of us want to speak, and I want to confirm we have a lot of time for everyone to speak. We have an hour and a half to go. So we will speak. So we will give the majority leader to wind up, because your time is up, majority
Honorable
leader.
Speaker, you will add me the time that I have been disrupted, and I had time, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Honorable Speaker, I was saying, if you listen to the people in Kitengela, saying that people were brought in to Kitengela in the morning, the violence that was meted out in Mlolongo was never by the people of Mlolongo or Mavoko, but it's outsiders who were brought in. Honorable Speaker, when you speak about militia, we know the militia and criminal gangs that have been used politically in this country since time immemorial. You know who dons the Mungiki sect and Mungiki militia. You
Mr.
know
Speaker,
who works with
my
them.
point of order is this.
You know who...
Well, my point of order is this, Mr. Speaker.
Order. What is out of order, Honorable Junet?
Madam Speaker, my point of order is this, with a tremendous respect to the majority leader. Madam Speaker, he's alluding to here that there were people who were ferried from outside to Kitengela. Madam Speaker, the question I wanted to ask is, what kind of inept and useless government is he running not to know that people were ferried at night there to go and cause havoc, and he's just sleeping? He's a majority leader. He should have known it by night, Madam Speaker.
Order, members. Order, members. I don't remember Honorable Ishungwa being the intelligence boss or anything like that, but please continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, I allow Honorable Junet because he's a serious leader and he will never shout for nothing. He will state things, but the day I run a government, you will get to know. Now I'm not running one, Honorable Junet. But I was saying, Honorable Speaker, these are facts that I'm speaking to, that there have been people who have been mobilized, criminal elements, and the police must deal with all criminals, whether within the political circles or outside the political circles, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I was saying in Mlolongo, Honorable Speaker, when people were demolishing the expressway, and Honorable Junet knows where he was, and he knows that.
Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. If you have put an intervention, kindly remove. I'm not even able to pick who is doing the point of order. So please remove, because we are following the main list, so that I'm able to tell who has an intervention.
But his time is up. His time is up.
Order, members.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order on what you raised.
Honorable Otiende, are you on a point of order? No. You're waiting to talk. All right. Honorable Kamket, are you on a point of order?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
If you're waiting to speak, I will not give anyone now on a point of intervention. Majority leader, please, you have 1 minute. Wind up.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's rather unfair to give me a minute and not allow me to speak when Honorable Millie Odhiambo continues shouting. But I was saying this, Honorable Speaker, because you are shouting for me not to tell you the truth, but I'll speak the truth to you. As leaders from Luo Nyanza, you must lead from the front.
You must stop mobilizing your people to death. You must say enough is enough and no more bloodshed. How many liters of blood do you want? For you to be able to negotiate yourselves in power, you shall no longer use bloodshed to negotiate yourselves into power. No more bloodshed in this country to negotiate yourselves.
Order. Order, members. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Order. Order, Irene Mayaka, Honorable Mbaka, Honorable Irene Joki, take your seat. Take your seat. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, take your seat. Honorable Kawanjiko, order, take your seat. Honorable John Paul, take your seat. Honorable Amashukuru, take your seat. Honorable Dorothy Mudhoni, take your seat. Honorable Janet, take your seat. Honorable Honorable Yagon, take your seat. Honorable Mokami Mashinani, take your seat. No. Honorable Catherine, take your seat. Honorable Mishimboko, take your seat. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members. Order, members.